President Trump says it's very smart not to be involved in the intense fighting along the Turkish border. In a tweet today, the president said those that mistakenly got us into the Middle East wars are still pushing the fight, and added they have no idea what a bad decision they've made. The president went on to question why they are not asking for a declaration of war. The remarks come as an apparent rebuke of critics of the U.S. withdrawal, especially to those in Congress who have condemned the move. Speaking at the Values Voter Summit Saturday, the president once again doubled down on his position.
That 30 kilometers, about 22 miles, strip along Turkey. And the Kurds are tending to leave, and that's good. Let them have their borders. But I don't think our soldiers should be there for the next 50 years guarding a border between Turkey and Syria when we can't guard our own borders at home. I don't think so.
And the president has also warned Turkey of severe economic sanctions if they fail to protect religious minorities or watch over ISIS prisoners in the area. One America's Rion has more on the president's decision from the White House.
When President Trump announced the U.S. would not involve itself militarily in Turkey and Syria's conflict, the backlash came in from all directions. An overarching narrative being one of betrayal, that the U.S. was abandoning allies in the region, the Kurds. But President Trump stood his ground and returned fire, calling out bad judgment, eternal costly wars, and bad leadership, tweeting, "The same people that got us into the Middle East, quicksand, $8 trillion and many thousands of lives and millions of lives when you count the other side, are now fighting to keep us there. Don't listen to people that haven't got a clue. They have proven to be inept." At the 14th annual Values Voter Summit, President Trump said that U.S. troops don't need to be policing Turkey and Syria. We have concerns right here at home that we haven't remedied ourselves.
But I don't think our soldiers should be there for the next 50 years guarding a border between Turkey and Syria when we can't guard our own borders at home.
Though President Trump may be causing some disagreement amongst even the Republicans, he stands his ground. This is a conflict between the Turks and the Kurds. We will watch but not get involved militarily in a tribal conflict. The next narrative that seems to be pushed right now is that President Trump blindsided the world in moving our troops from this border region. But the president ran on the platform of leaving the Middle East since 2016 as a candidate. He reminded everyone of his position at Values Voter Summit in a simple line.
These wars, they never end. And we have to bring our great soldiers back from the never-ending wars.
Turkey has always been an odd geopolitical player with the United States. Though we have some trade relations with Turkey, it is also a hotbed of America's enemies, made more so now as their feverish attack on Syria becomes increasingly unreasonable. The White House has condemned Turkey's actions, and the president has reiterated that if Turkey crosses the line and starts causing casualties amongst the Kurds, the U.S. would intervene economically by imposing harsh sanctions. The biggest false narrative being pushed is one that Democrats seem to latch onto at the moment, that this entire conflict between the Turks and the Kurds is not only a new situation, but one that could be solved by U.S. intervention. This is patently false. And the Democrats clinging to this falsehood is testimony of an understandable geopolitical ignorance. The Turks and the Kurds have been fighting each other since the 10th century AD. The first time the Turks and Kurds fought in this particular region in Syria was 128 years before the birth of George Washington in the Battle of Aleppo, 1604. This is the essence of a centuries-long tribal conflict, and the president insists the U.S. cannot involve itself militarily. Rion, One American News, the White House.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.